been doing to try to make my live classes more interesting is I've been using guest speakers. Who could that possibly be? I had no idea anyone was coming. And then you cover the camera really, really fast. Wait, what are you doing here? I came here to talk to the kids.
Children, I brought you candy.
I'm the grammar grandma.
And I came to give you a special gift. It's called a period.
Welcome to Party with a Purpose 2022!
Welcome to Party with a Purpose 22, a virtual benefit for all hands raised, presented by Bridgetown Wealth Management. Now, please welcome your co-hosts, Courtney Hameister and Lavert Robertson.
Would you believe I didn't have to buy this outfit? I just had it at home.
Welcome to Party with a Purpose 2022. Thank you so much for joining us virtually tonight. I'm Courtney Hameister. I'm here with All Hands Raised CEO Lavert Robertson, and we will be your host for the next hour of your online life. How are you doing tonight, Lavert?
I'm really happy to be here.
Me
and
too.
So grateful that folks are joining us to support the important work that All Hands Raised has been doing now for nearly 3 decades.
3 decades. Amazing. And I have to say, while I miss seeing all your lovely faces at the Moda Center, I kind of like the intimacy of you joining us from your kitchen table. It feels like we can just chat, you know?
We can
We can chat about your cravat.
There's a chat feature right on the website, so please use that feature to join us.
Yeah, actually, to make it fun, let's kickstart our chat with this question. And I think that a lot of you will have great answers for this. What has been your biggest on-camera gaffe during Zoom meetings? I feel like a lot of them are going to be about not wearing pants, you know? Because we gave up pants. So answer in the chat box. And we would also love for you to take a selfie or an ussie with a friend with your PWAP gift boxes and share them on social media with the hashtag PWAP22 and tag us at All Hands Raised if you're so inclined. So let's jump right into the show. The first person we're going to hear from tonight is Cole Mills. He's our board chair and the president of Bridgetown Wealth Management, our presenting sponsor.
There's lots of different organizations out there that are doing incredible work for education, but what really drove me to take a deeper dive with All Hands Raised and really to engage with the board and eventually become the board chair was really hinged on this idea of system change and really being a backbone organization, right? A collective impact organization. I think that there's a ton of nonprofits out there doing great work for students that are direct service organizations. There's the schools directly trying to do all that they can to directly help students. It still felt like a lot of those things were very siloed. And I felt like All Hands Raised was the one entity that was trying to break down those walls as much as possible and really create an environment where there's cross-collaboration, where you have different entities, both from the nonprofit side as well as the school side, working together to really affect some system change. Being a part owner of Bridgetown Wealth Management, we've been involved with All Hands Raised for almost a decade now. And this is one of those years where I just felt like we as an organization are working through a pivot, right? Candidly, as we come out of the pandemic, there's going to be a lot of changes in the way that we deliver our work and the way that we assist both districts and nonprofits in that system change work. And I just felt like of all the times that I've been involved, this was the time to take a deeper dive. This was the time to step up in a more material way. I just felt like it was our time to really step up as a corporate citizen to really assist in that. There's the altruistic element of it, right? We want to be, I grew up in this community. Portland's always been my backyard. I grew up in Portland Public Schools. A lot of my employees and a lot of my partners in the company also grew up in Portland and went through Portland Public Schools, so we've always felt that drive. I want to have the most competent, capable next round of kids that are going to come into the workforce in the next 10, 15 years. If there's one place that I can really direct my philanthropy, it's going to be towards kids, it's going to be towards education, because the need is so great right now. And so I feel like it's a little bit of making that investment, right? Making that investment now for the future.
Thank you, Cole, for your amazing work as our board chair and your generosity as our presenting sponsor. This year, we have over 40 generous organizations supporting All Hands Raised. Let's give a shout out to just a few.
All right, so this is my job. So once again, I've been asked to thank our sponsors in under 2 minutes. And the great thing about them is that they're all organizations that I'm planning to utilize in becoming my amazing post-pandemic self. So 2 minutes. So like our presenting sponsor, Bridgetown Wealth Management. I've never been financially prudent, and during the pandemic, I spent over $600 on kitchen organization bins thinking they would change my life. But now I am going to manage my wealth. Well, first I'm gonna get some wealth, and then I'm gonna go back and they'll help me manage it by not investing in mid-century Barbie furniture to put inside my vintage television so it looks like I'm always watching episodes of Mad Men. And PNC Bank, they'll be perfect because I'm in my very early 50s, so I think it's time for me to start saving for retirement 20 years ago, so check that off. And Boeing, I am ready to get out of Dodge, but before I do, I will ask the airline, is this a Boeing plane? And if they say no, I'll get off the plane and go get a Cinnabon. After which, I'll have to go to Kaiser Permanente to check my A1C, and they'll very, very kindly give me a recipe for a gluten-free, sugar-free, joy-free Cinnabon for my new post-pandemic healthy life, for which I'll need our next sponsor, Brand Definition. They're gonna help me define the brand for the new, more energized version of me that almost never wants to, I think you'll know about this, crawl under her desk and softly sob quietly. And then I'll go to Caffelli for a multidisciplinary campaign featuring me on social media, eating salads and laughing. I'm just kidding, they'd never do anything that inauthentic. And I'd never laugh while eating a salad, but you get the idea. And then hopefully, Emmy Donis would follow me on Insta and give me advice on an aerospace career, which would lead to the wealth that I was planning to manage earlier, and the ability to build a new house. So then, of course, I'd go to GBD Architects and show them my Barbie diorama, and they'd say, we've never designed blueprints based on a living room for a doll, but the customer is always right, so they would get to work on my new Barbie townhouse. And because it has 3 full floors, I will use my Moda Health card to see if eating all those salads while crying made me healthy enough to climb all those stairs. And the nurse would do that head tilt that dogs do when you're like making a weird noise, and she'd just say absolutely not. So I'd head out to Umpqua Bank to get my new construction loan. And they would ask if the Barbie townhouse is to scale because they wouldn't want a Spinal Tap Stonehenge situation. And then that would make me anxious, so I'd go over to US Bank to get cash for another Cinnabon to calm my nerves. But while I'm at the Lloyd Center, I slip on the ice and I turn my ankle, so I go to the Wellness Center, and now I'm able to go back to my new healthy-ish post-pandemic life, all because of our amazing sponsors. I don't think I did it in 2 minutes.
Amazing.
I did it. I did it in 2 minutes.
Fist bump.
Woo! Thank you, Levert.
Thanks for that great tribute, Courtney. I want to also extend my deep appreciation for their tremendous support. In addition to those sponsors, your ticket purchase and big-hearted contributions are pivotal in helping us move our mission forward.
Oh, actually, it looks like we've got a few chat responses about Zoom gaffes on our screen. So let's see, we've got scolding my kids while not on mute. A lot of responses on this theme. Levert, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, forgetting to update my screen name. I wonder what was left there.
Right. My cat showing off his rear end on camera. I think that happens quite a bit too.
Oh, wow. My son walking into a meeting with the mayor's office in his underwear.
Yeah, that one, I like this one. Walking through my son's Zoom school with an armful of wine bottles. These, oh, do you want to take that last one just real quickly?
Absolutely. Forgot to change my screen name, which was F-bomb.
Those were fantastic. Thank you so much for sending those in. So Levert, before we read the chats, you spoke about moving our mission forward. What is the mission of All Hands Raised?
Well, Courtney, the mission is to inspire our community to eliminate systems barriers, accelerate innovation, and achieve racial educational equity for all students here in Multnomah County.
So tonight, you can help us move that mission forward. Feel free to give any time throughout the live stream. It's super easy to donate. Just use the donate button that's above the video player, or text AHR to 44321, and it'll take you right to the donate page. Super easy. And you can pay with Apple Pay, so all you gotta do is click twice on the side and make sure your face actually looks like your face. Because sometimes that doesn't happen, right? You're just like, wow, do I look that bad today, Apple? Thanks a lot.
That's right, Courtney. We're doing a live paddle raise later, but you can show your support at any time tonight. Whatever you can give means a lot to the over 220,000 kids we serve.
Absolutely. And don't forget that we'd still love to hear from you in the chat window a little bit more. How about this? If you're a teacher, tell us one crazy thing you've done to engage students remotely. And then if you're a parent, tell us one great thing your kids' teachers have done to keep your kids engaged this year. So let's move on to talk about everyone's favorite subject, data, or data, however you want to say it. One way All Hands Raised helps partners in school districts is by using data in creative ways. And why is data so important? Lavert? Let's find out.
Well, the basic reason is nobody else is doing it, and somebody has to do it, in my opinion. There has to be this keeper of the targets, somebody who is charged with providing feedback to the collective, to the community. Here's how we're doing. And secondly, it's taking that cradle to career perspective. It's looking at not discrete points in time, but how these points fit together. Why do we pay attention to birth weight, for example? Well, birth weight is a very strong predictor of early academic and intellectual development in young children, which is a key indicator to how children enter kindergarten. So why do we care about kindergarten? Well, it's a strong predictor of how the first 3 years of schooling are going to be successful for kids. Why do we care about that? Well, what we know is that third grade reading is a strong predictor for future success. So every one of those benchmarks along the way has a research base behind it. But it's very difficult for one organization that may be, we chronically underfund early childhood education. They don't have the resources to look at how does what we do here predict whether or not a kid goes to college. But All Hands Raised can do. That's the role of the umbrella organization, to pool those key questions and to organize the data, to facilitate the conversation and to identify where it's working and to identify where we can do better. That's the role of the umbrella organization, and that's All Hands Raised work. And as far as I can see, nobody else is doing it.
We spent a lot of time focusing on, as a team, with All Hands Raised, we had identified as a team that the significant area that we have concerns in our school is hallway behaviors of students, not only getting to class on time, but staying in class. And actually, it's a major issue that we used to have. And with All Hands Raised, we were able to come up with some ideas and potential possibilities of how to maybe reduce some of the problems that we were seeing in our school. As a result of these conversations, we have no longer really a passing time. We've changed our schedule to where the passing time that we used to have, the 4 minutes between classes, is now no passing time as far as the schedule looks. We have taught kids that you go from one class to the next. There is no bell. We also no longer have students having lockers. The lockers are a huge source of commotion. Not only are they loud and noisy and cause the metabolism of the school to really rise, taking those simple things away really has improved our hallway behaviors. And as a result, in the hallways we had several referrals, several disciplinary referrals, and now a lot of those are just gone. And our data is literally a third of what it used to be. Our discipline data is literally a third of what it used to be. It really allowed us to really work at identifying the needs of our school, the needs of our students, and what best we could do to actually have our students be as successful as possible.
Wow, what an amazing improvement at Chris's school.
Absolutely, right? Yes. And I can speak from my own experience too. When I was a principal at George Middle School, I worked alongside All Hands Raised. We set a goal to reduce the number of African American boys receiving discipline referrals by 35%. and reduced the number of referrals written for all students by 20%. In 1 year, we reduced discipline referrals for African American boys by over 60%.
Wow.
And over 50% for the entire school.
Wow, you majorly surpassed those goals. That's amazing.
The story of impact was not just about data, it transformed our school culture. That's just one example of why your contributions are so crucial.
Wow, and that is also the power of partnership. The All Hands Raised partnership is the backbone of All Hands Raised, bringing partners together to solve the biggest challenges and identify opportunities across the entire system. Let's hear from a few of them.
I am really compassionate about education, because as a former refugee and Asian American, I do strongly believe that as human beings, we're born equal, but we're not raised equal. And so education is the best equalizer.
I know what it's like to work with kids who have been behind in school. I was lucky enough to be always surrounded by educators and education, and I was forced to do well in school, but not all kids have that advantage.
What I love about the All Hands Raised partnership is the data-driven approach to the conversation.
I think one of the biggest differences they've made is calling vivid attention to what's going on in the school systems.
They've been trying to find ways to really work with our superintendents and promote private and public partnership to really support education for our students, and particularly the K-12.
So they make a difference by empowering those who are actually working with the students, and they make a difference by calling attention to the deficits so that we can repair them, not to finger point or blame, but just to target them as areas that need remediation that are good for the community.
And it really takes all of us. It takes the business community, it takes the education sector, it takes the nonprofit sector. We all have a role to play in this, and by developing community-wide indicators that we can all see ourselves in, we advance the impact and the outcomes. I think people should support All Hands Raised because education is the gateway to opportunity in our community. A thriving education system for all students is critical for the future of Oregon.
I am just so proud as a Oregonians and as a citizens. We're all there for the sake of our kid, and we're all there for the name of education and promote, academic success for K-12, and that's just really near and dear to my heart.
It was great to see Lee Pocha. Lee has been around. He's been a partner with All Hands Raised since the very beginning, hasn't he?
Absolutely. Lee is board emeritus. Thank you, Lee, for your long-lasting contributions and support of All Hands Raised.
Absolutely. So one of the issues that All Hands Raised is working with their partners on is student mental health. Let's hear a little bit more about that from Multnomah County Chair Deborah Kafoury.
So I'm a mom. I have 3 kids, 2 of them in Portland Public Schools. And so I've really seen firsthand the effect that this pandemic has had on our youth. We saw a disturbing trend prior to that pandemic where youth were reporting higher instances of needing mental health and behavioral health services. But since the pandemic, those numbers have just gone through the roof. Multnomah County runs our student health centers located in schools, and we also have a student-based mental health supports. We've just seen the demand skyrocket. It's always been a heavily utilized resource in our schools, and we've added resources over the years, but now it's the number one thing we're hearing from superintendents, from teachers, and from administrators is please help us. The thing about All Hands Raised is they play a really unique role in this situation. We're really lucky to have an organization like All Hands Raised here in our community because they're able to pull people together, people from public health, people from the education system, people from work systems to workforce, and bring everyone together, because it really does take a village to raise a child.
Student mental health. Lavert, what have you heard about how it's affecting students of color from your community partners and from your site teams?
There were many reasons students of color were less likely to return to in-person instruction. Many were at great risk of getting COVID and bringing it home to elderly relatives in multi-generational households. Others had to work since their parents were more likely to have fallen ill or lost their jobs due to COVID.
Yeah.
It's also harder for students of color to access mental health support that's culturally responsive and effective. And when students of color do finally make it back, they're less likely to see adults in the building that look like them or are able to understand their perspectives. We're taking all of this into consideration in our conversations with our schools and partners on this issue.
Well, and I think that what's great about it is that you're hearing from people from all different schools, right? And so they're able to really help you to see the big picture that the schools themselves can't see. So you can help All Hands Raised to further this conversation, to help their partners take action. Remember that you can give it any time by texting AHR to 44321. And it looks like we might have some chat responses about distance learning. We know that it's been difficult, but as you've let us know in the chat window, teachers have shown superhero level ingenuity in response. Let's see, just a few responses. Did you want to read this?
Absolutely. Parent of a 5th grader, teachers did a daily pet cam for kids to show off their pets.
That is absolutely a way to get kids to turn their cameras on if they can show their cat.
Good trick.
Absolutely. We've got, as a teacher, dressing up as a dinosaur at the start of my class. Anything to grab attention and make learning fun. My cousin actually is a teacher, and he teaches TikTok dances over, you've got to turn your camera on in order to learn that he knows the TikTok dances better than his students, which may be a problem for him. But thank you for those great responses. And thank you, teachers, for stepping up. So as Lavert said earlier, kids of color have been hit hardest by COVID, and All Hands Raised knows that's nothing new. Since their inception, they have been laser focused on equity in education.
Let's hear a bit more about that from two partners in our Student Engagement Leadership Group, Carla Gay and Dawn Joella Jackson from Gresham Barlow School District.
Well, they're our customers. So if we don't figure out how to engage students in their learning and how to create spaces in education where students and their families feel welcome, wanted, and worthy of our time, our energy, and our willingness to roll up our sleeves and figure out what's not working, then what are we in education for? We don't have a homogenous society. We don't have a singular voice, and in fact, we never have. And so I think we need to recognize as a system that we have a multiplicity of perspectives and experiences in public education, and we must do better to engage all of those students and families, not just the ones who fit our sort of a single story, but the multiple stories. Because we're a public education system, like fundamentally, we're here to serve everyone.
I was out at one of our alternative schools, and a kid said to me, "You all keep wanting the system to change, but you keep designing it for adults instead of kids. And in order for it to really change and be a place that is good for kids like me, you have to have student voice be at the table, and yet it rarely is." And that's how I felt for a really long time. I've been a SPED teacher, I've worked in alternative ed, I've worked in schools that serve students in state custody, and I know that from my own lived experience. But to have a student who has not been very successful in our system just call it out in such a clear way makes me know and be reaffirmed that student engagement isn't something you do after the fact, right? It is actually the core of what we should do when we choose books, when we design curriculum, when we figure out how we learn, how long classes should be. Kids have so much insight into the ways that schools could be better for them, and we don't ask them. I just got done interviewing 1,658 kids. 70% of the BIPOC students said that their families don't feel like they have a place to belong in their schools. And when I asked them, what would create belonging? If you were the ruler of all things, what would you do to create belonging? They said, have our voices present, listen to our families, create places where our families can come and speak. And then they spoke very, very clearly from 2nd grade to 12th grade about how they feel like only white families are heard when discussions happen around schools. And so they told me that it was different. They told me this year that it was different, and every student that I've served for the last 27 years in education has told me that it's different.
I've heard so many stories from parents of these kids over the years and have seen the effects myself as a primary grade teacher and school administrator at all levels of our K-12 system. Let's hear from one of those parents, our Vice Chair, Karis.
I've been connected with All Hands Raised for many years, and what really inspired me to actually join the board was when I became a mom and had children of my own, and I have 2 sons. It was very disheartening and discouraging when my husband and I actually experienced disproportionate discipline that we felt was being inflicted on our sons. At that time, they were 7 and 3. A 7-year-old in 2nd grade being told by his teacher that his behavior was not the same as other students. It's looking like he's being singled out. And so bringing those things to the attention of teachers and administrators, and not always being met with openness and understanding, but really resistance, it let me know that socioeconomic does not matter as much as the color of your skin still. And so yes, my children were experiencing disproportionate discipline in their schools. And just about the same time that this was going on with my kids, I was involved in Principal for a Day, done Principal for a Day for years, loved Principal for a Day. I attended all alternative schools. The last school that we visited was an elementary school for children that were expelled from the public school system due to disciplinary issues. And when I came into that building, it was a building that was on lockdown. I visited people in jail, and it felt like that. When you go in one set of doors and those doors close behind you, and then you're in a waiting zone, getting checked in, and then another set of doors opens that you have to go into to visit. It didn't feel like a school. It felt like visiting someone in prison. The first child that I saw was a little black boy that looked just like my son. Just like my son. Had to be the same age. And my son was in 2nd grade then, 7 years old. And I thought, what could a 7-year-old possibly do what could he possibly do that he would need to be expelled from school and sent to a prison? Because this is when we talk about school to prison pipeline, I saw it firsthand. It hit me that day. He looked just like my son. It really made me fight for my sons in their schools and really get in there and be proactive, work with the teachers. And what I also realized is that a lot of times they just weren't used to dealing with Black kids. They did not have the experience, did not have that just wasn't something they were familiar with. And so I think that there was some conditioning that had happened, and my kids were suffering as a result of that. it definitely made me hop in and get more involved, realize that this is something I'm going to have to do with them for the rest of their lives, and especially the rest of their educational life. I'm going to have to be there advocating for my sons. And it made me think back to that little boy and to think, I don't know if he had somebody that could do that. You know, I was able to get up and go to the school and, go talk to the teacher, pick up my son or whatever needed to be done. But everyone doesn't have that luxury. You got to be able to navigate the system, know who to talk to, know what questions to ask. And a lot of families don't have that. Kids get lost in the system every day because they don't have someone that can advocate for them, or they don't have someone that knows how to advocate for them. That has nothing to do with loving your child. Parents love their children. I know that little boy's mom did, his mom and dad, his family didn't want to see him at that school. They loved him, but they maybe did not know how to not have him be there. We need to support our schools. We need to support our students. And when you give to All Hands Raised, you do just that. You are giving and you are making an impact to be a change maker.
Wow. I really feel what Karis is saying. All of us here tonight share a common vision for student success. But what will you do differently to help the vision become reality? It's our job at All Hands Raised to pull both and push and support our community to do better for our children, youth, and young adults. I sincerely believe if we keep working collectively with urgency and patience, we will ensure every child achieves their full potential. And that's why we welcome your support tonight.
To get us started, let's meet your virtual auctioneer, longtime friend of All Hands Raised, Graham Crow.
Thank you, Courtney.
Welcome, Graham.
Nicely done so far, by the way. So, guess what? The pressure's on you now to make this continue to be a good evening. We want to let you know that we do have a goal tonight, and it's a pretty big one. Our goal is $250,000. So it is big, but it's an important one. We'd like to give, let's take a look now, by the way, where we're at. We're already nearly $220,000 there.
Fantastic.
Because we had a lot of pre-committed and people who gave before tonight's show. So help us get to that $250,000. So we have 3 unique incentives for you to donate. First of all, 2 lucky winners or donors are going to win, each will win a pair of Alaska airline tickets anywhere Alaska flies. Meanwhile, another donor is going to get a fabulous 2-night stay at the Stoller Winery Cottage, plus a whole bunch of wine, of course. And then another generous donor is going to get, wait a minute. It's a secret.
Yeah, don't say it.
I can't tell you right now, but it's something the 3 of us know, and we agree we would all really like to have as well. So to support All Hands Raised and possibly have a chance at any of those incentives, it's very simple. Click on the donate button above the screen or text the letters AHR to 44321. That's AHR to 44321. Right now, I want to thank Deborah Summer for her generous donation of $7,000.
Great.
Thank you, Deborah, very much for that. We would love to have someone match or even possibly exceed Deborah's $7,000 donation. If you're able to do so, again, get your phone out or mobile device and text AHR to 44321. By the way, once you get there on the page, you will notice there isn't a $7,000 donation level or even a $10,000, but there is at the very bottom of the screen a blank screen, and you can fill in whatever amount you would like. So any amount that's meaningful to you and comfortable for you, just please take part. Okay, so now while we're waiting to see if someone does match that 7 or even give it $10,000, let's take a look at our next level. That's the $5,000 level. And we have some generous donors who submitted their donation in advance of tonight's event. So first of all, thank you to Wesley Campbell.
Thank you to Roger Cook and Joan Cirillo.
Thank you to Augustine and Allison Enriquez.
And board chair, Cole Mills and Michelle Tashman, thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew and Kristen Ognaw.
So there are 5 at the $5,000 level. Wouldn't it be terrific if we could get 5 more right now to
10's
match
just
that?
such a nicer number.
It is.
It's got round.
Well,
I'll be happy with 5.
Exactly.
No, you wouldn't want 5 toes or 5 fingers. We need 10 if we can.
Yeah.
So
2 hands.
if you can, consider it. We'd appreciate that very much. Now, earlier tonight, Levert talked about the tangible difference that All Hands Raised made when he was principal at George Middle School. So you can personally and positively impact a child in a Portland school with a donation tonight. Next up, let's focus on the $2,500 level. And we have a few folks to thank who made that $2,500 gift in advance of tonight's show, starting with the Hoffman Corporation. Thank you.
Thank you, Lane Powell.
Thank you, Jacob Mills and Leanna Chun.
And also thank you for Near Software and Technology. So we are getting close to the $220,000 mark. Keep those donations coming in. And now let's focus, by the way, on the $1,000 level, because here's where it gets exciting. I've got several things to announce here. First of all, the PGE Foundation is offering to match up to $25,000 for the donations here at this $1,000 level. Thank you again, PGE Foundation, for your continuing support of All Hands Raised. Now, we're looking for 25. We already have some to thank who have made a donation at the $1,000 level. So let's start off. Thank you, AJ Barnett.
Thank you, Susan and Craig Bashell.
Thank you, Amy Loy.
Thank you also, $1,000 for Travis and Christine Merrill.
Thank you, Ken and Marta Thrasher.
Jeff and Mary Strickler.
And someone named Levert Robertson and Tracy Simmons.
Levert is such an interesting name.
It is. I've heard it somewhere.
Well, if PGE's going to match the $1,000, I think we better jump in.
Okay. Well, there's
Yeah, that's a good
7
point.
so far up there. Oh, we have more as well. Jonathan Blasher, also for $1,000.
Big shout out to Larry Beckadall from PGE, $1,000.
Thank you, Larry. Patty Wood, thank you, $1,000.
And Josh Sasaki, thank you, Josh, for joining in.
And thank you, Leslie Mills.
Okay, so that's 11, I think. Let me go back. We had 7, 5, 12. So we're almost halfway there. We've got 12. If we can get more, PGE will match up to, and our total right now, we are, oh, what a nice number,
Looks like we just
$222,000.
Got another $1,000 donation from Brian Johnson.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian Johnson.
Right on.
So not only can you
President
help
Johnson.
All Hands Raised, but if you'd ever like to have your name lauded in public, this is the way you do it.
Exactly.
We
You just
will-
want to hear someone say it on something that looks like television.
Yeah. Do you need a thank you? Do you need a hug?
Claire Verity.
Thank you, Claire.
Ding, 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 ding. There we go. Okay.
Claire Verity, thank you so much.
Now we're at 15. So we're looking for 10 more, if at all possible. Oh, one other thing maybe to incentivize people here. Everyone who donates $1,000 will be eligible to win 2 unrestricted round-trip coach tickets on Alaska Airlines. And there are no blackout dates. This is value of $2,500. So if you donate the $1,000, by the way, Alaska Airlines says they like All Hands Raised so much, let's not do 1 pair. Let's do 2 pairs.
Oh, wow.
So 2 people who donate at the $1,000 level will draw the names out at the end of the show tonight, and you will be able to fly wherever you want, no blackout dates.
Looks like we've got another $1,000 donation. Jason Smith, thank you so much.
There's 16 there, looking for 9 more. Okay, now let's go to our $500 level. This one comes with another incentive. But before we get to that, let's give a shout out to everyone who pledged $500 before tonight's show. We'll start with Will Kaplan. Will, thank you.
Thank you, Michelle McNamara.
Thank you, Vincent and Jana Ripley.
And Stephanie Mendoza-Gray, thank you very much.
And thank you to our former CEO, Dan Ryan.
By the way, Dan, Peggy says hi.
And thank you to Kuris Shirey, Aspasia Wealth Management.
And Chris Tebbett. These were all at the $500 level. We have some others that have come in.
Thank you, Erica Nato.
Nice, nice. Let's see, do we have also Felicia Tripp at $500 and David, is it Kamens or Kamens? Do we know?
I think it's Kamens.
Okay, you say Kamens, I'll say Kamens. One of us will be right.
Let's call the whole thing off.
Yeah.
Thank you to Whitney Grubbs.
Brian Butler.
And Marcia Keys, thank you very much.
Mary Kay West, we thank you.
Denise Ecker, thanks so much.
Elaine Albridge, thank you very much.
And Malum Architects, we thank you.
Ooh, you know what? We just got a $500 from Anonymous, and I have to tell you, I partied with Anonymous like a couple weeks ago. They are a fantastic person. Love them. If anyone's related to Anonymous and also wants to give, please do so. We love you guys. We're big fans, huge fans.
Okay, so there's another reason that you will want to donate at $500, even if you have already donated at a previous level, because at this level, one lucky donor is going to win a 2-night weekday stay in the stunning Stoller Wine Country Cottage for 6 guests. This includes wine tasting, plus 6 bottles of Stoller wine. Mm-hmm. Once again, we will draw, here's the Stoller wine coming in, and if Courtney will share it, of course. But once again, we will draw and announce the winner at the end of tonight's show. So we've got those Alaska Airline tickets at the $1,000 level, the Stoller wine at the $500 level.
You know, I heard about this Stoller package, and I have to tell you, ladies, I don't know if you've seen Wine Country on Netflix. It's with Amy Poehler. It's got this amazing cast, and it just made me think. It's like 6 women going through Wine Country, getting wasted and letting their feelings out. And so, what a perfect opportunity to do that with your friends. So
we have another $1,000 donor.
And it comes from June Schumann. Thank you, June, so much, former board member.
Nice. Okay, we're looking for 8 more, and then we'll get that additional $25,000. Oh, one just came in.
Nice. Mary Kay West, thank you so much.
Down to 7 more. And again, a reminder, all of these donors are eligible to win pair of round-trip tickets on Alaska Airlines, anywhere Alaska flies. In fact, we're going to have 2 winners at that level. So if you'd like to have a chance, please donate and help out at the $1,000 level.
Well, thank you so much, Graham. So we're about to jump to our $250 level, and we should let you know that we do have that top secret offer coming up. So you just might want to warm up your donating fingers or thumbs or whatever you donate with, just to remind you.
Yes. And while you do, let's hear from one of our board members on why she gives.
All Hands Raised right now during this pandemic is focused on equity. They're focused on serving kids and community that the pandemic has taken its toll on. And they are looking at the data and they're saying, where are the gaps? Where does the district, where do community leaders, where does the business community need to come and take care of this population? All Hands Raised has this convening aspect to them. And with this convening aspect, they can address need with this laser pinpoint focus. And right now they're seeing we need to take care of these kids that have experienced what this new term called the COVID slide. And they are really working hard with the districts that they are in and with the community to make sure those kids are served so they're not left behind. At the same time, they're also advocating for all children and making sure we're addressing the mental needs and mental health of all kids. And so for that, again, that gift of All Hands Raised being a convener is something that we as a community shouldn't take for granted and make sure that All Hands Raised is around in perpetuity. This is a time when we need an organization like All Hands Raised. We need to give to an organization that has a laser focus on serving the most vulnerable children in our district. I'm talking about kids that come from houselessness. I'm talking about kids that are experiencing extreme mental health issues. Kids that are not having a meal tonight because the school isn't open. All Hands Raised is serving all of those children and working with the districts that we are in to serve those kids. And so I encourage you tonight to give and to give generously, because at this time it matters most.
Thank you. Lots of donations came in the past couple of minutes. So there are a couple of them we want to highlight. We have at the $1,000 level, I think Gary Hyde is a new one at the $1,000 level.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Gary. And thank you to Jonelle Bell, another new one at the $1,000 level too.
So I think we're 6 away. Most importantly, our overall total that you can see at the bottom of the screen, we're over $233,000.
Oh, we have another one. Oh, we have Denise Beckedahl. Thank you, Denise.
Nice. You can interrupt me with news like that anytime.
Okay.
In fact, please do. So we are now at $233,000. We're $16,000 and change away from our goal. Let's focus now on the $250 level. If you can make a difference at this level, simply text AHR to 44321 so we can say thank you. And I've got an idea here. We've got the chat window. If you could donate at $250 to simply say thank you to a teacher, someone who impacted you in elementary school, in your middle school years, your high school years, if a teacher who's impacted your kids or your grandkids, put that in the chat and we'll be able to say thank you as well. So instead of thinking about it as a donation, this is a way to say thank you to that one special teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We've had a couple of $250 donations come in. Nicole Galloway, thank you so much. Ruth Adkins, thank you.
We had a few more at what, the $500 level?
Yeah, these are 500s.
All right, you want to do the first one?
Christine Vernier, thank you very much. The Verniers, we've mentioned their name before tonight.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Michael and Amber Bedworth.
Thank you, Kevin Kaufman.
Nice. So again, we're getting close. We're about 15,000 away from hitting our overall goal. So let's now move on to our next level, $100. Pay attention now. We have a highly unusual incentive that I have not seen before, and I've been doing these for over 30 years. Courtney, you know what it is. Lavert knows what it is. I know what it is. Share the secret with everyone.
All right, Graham. So we have a special guest tonight. Many of you may know that I used to host Livewire Radio here in Portland, and our show announcer was the charming Jason Rouse. And as it turns out, Jason is quite the accomplished baker. Jason actually baked me, he hates bananas, but he made me a banana cream pie with a chocolate ganache bottom, and it was the best pie I've ever had in my life. Jason, are you there? Did we lose Jason?
Well, hello there. Hi, it's me, Jason Rouse. I'm just in my my private home here somewhere in Northeast Portland in my kitchen. How'd you get in here? This is great.
You just need to be more careful where you hide your keys, dude. Like, don't have those fake rocks.
I know. I have so many keys, so I have so many fake rocks. But how's it going? I'm just in here. I'm just doing a little baking, Courtney.
Jason,
these are real cookies.
Those look amazing. What kind of cookies are those?
And they taste amazing, Courtney. Well, thank you so much for asking. These are chocolate chip cookies. This is a long in development cookie. I've been working on this recipe. I'm not joking. I spent 2 years making them a few times a week, trying different recipes. And then I said, you know what, heck with it. Let's throw out the recipe. And it turns out I stumbled onto something, and they're delicious, and I love them very much. I've made them for so many different people. over the years, groups, different situations. Some I can talk about, some I'm legally barred from discussing, but they're great, and I have some right here. So that's what I've been doing. What are you up to?
Well, we're actually we're actually close to our goal tonight, but we really need you to kind of send us over the top. So can you just talk about the special offer that you're making for people who give $100?
Sure. Well, sure. If you give $100, I know there's some people out there tonight who may be on the fence about giving. Maybe they've given already. Why should I give some more? Well, I'm going to tell you. If you give $100 tonight, you will be, three of you will be entered to win a dozen fresh home-baked cookies from me, Portland, Oregon's Jason Rouse. I'm going to prepare them in a clean environment with clean washed hands. I'm going to bake them. I'm going to wrap them in some sort of a box. Let's just call it a box. And they'll be brought to you for you and your whoever. I would keep them for myself, and you can consume them. So if you give $100 right now, you're going to be entered to win. This is something that I think everyone should be doing.
Now, Jason,
it's $100.
Will you be delivering these cookies to people?
Yes, I think I will. I think I will be delivering them I'll probably drive my car, unless they're like really close, and I'll drive to them. And I'll set them on their porch. I'll probably ring the bell, set them down, and scurry away.
Yeah.
I will offer contactless delivery. If someone wants a hug, we'll talk about it.
Will you also do contact full delivery if that is requested?
I will do a full contact delivery, of course.
All right.
I'm a hugger.
Wonderful.
I'll do whatever they want. This is for a good cause. So Levert asked me. He said, Jason, privately, he said, I'm going to need you to go all out. And I said, what does that mean, Levert? And he just looked at me very square in the face and said, figure it out. So
this is what you figured out.
This is what I'm doing.
Perfect.
Whatever is required.
So this is your last incentive. Get them while they're hot. So our next giving level is $100. We will choose 3 people from those $100 donors to get cookies baked personally by former Livewire announcer Jason Rouse. If you give in the next 2 minutes. So let's start the countdown. Now, here's the thing. If you've given before tonight, you just give another $100. Why not?
Give another $100.
If you've given it another
that's what I say.
Just throw in another $100. The cookies, Jason, can you talk about why the cookies might be worth $100?
I'm going to throw out one of my secrets right now. I'm going to say one of my secrets to it. I melt the butter. Now, you might be out there going, Jason, who cares if the butter is melted? Well, I care. It makes all the difference in the world, and only I know how much butter and what kind I use. They are just special. I don't know what the deal is. I don't particularly like chocolate chip cookies, but I love these, and these are great. And if you can just if you just give $100 and you can win like free homemade cookies that you just can't get these anywhere because only I make them. This is a good deal.
Yeah,
this is fantastic.
There are people, I think, there are a lot of people who were lucky enough to have moms who were great cooks. Some people, or moms or dads who were great cooks, right? Some people not so much. What if you've just always wanted delicious homemade chocolate chip cookies and it just wasn't available to you, right?
Sure. I mean, I had parents who would screw up a peanut butter sandwich, so this to me is a very special sort of arrangement. And if I can bring any sort of joy to anybody, even for a few moments, I want to do it. We should say...
Go ahead, Jason.
No, go.
Well, I was just thinking, what if we just open this up to any level? Give any amount in the next 30 seconds.
That's what I'm saying. You know what? I tell you what, if you give right now $100,000, you just get the cookies.
Oh, right.
We're not even going to draw it. You're just going to get cookies.
Well, you know what? Let's just take that down. If you give $1,000 now, you're going to get cookies for realsies.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
If you give,
you just absolutely
$1,000, $1,200, you're going to get cookies. We're not going to put you in the pool of people.
Sure.
You're going to get cookies.
No, you're just going to get them. You're going to get them.
Right. And we're running out the clock. So we've got to give you the cookies. So right now, we've got the pool of people who are going to get the cookies.
Yeah, we're going to get into it. We're going to wade in.
So
we're going to wade in hip deep. We're going to get some people. Who am I going to get? I'm going to visit several pools, it sounds like.
Well,
minimum
hopefully,
3,
yeah.
maybe more.
And you'll be able to swim in them. So Jason, we're gonna do the cookie winners after we do the other incentives.
I got my phone, and I want to make sure I
Oh,
get in on
right.
the action.
I want to give two real quick. I'll be right back.
Sure. Contractually, I think I'm obligated to bake Levert cookies anyway, so that's just going to happen. But still give money, Levert, please,
Absolutely.
please take it.
$100.
One question, you said you would deliver. If they don't live in the greater Portland area, you will go anywhere nationally and internationally, I understand.
That's what it sounds like. Levert's right there, so I'm just going to nod my head and say absolutely. I'm going to make whatever we have to do. We're going to get them to you. So don't let geography, don't let a map stand in your way from giving $250,000 right now.
My phone
because
recognized my face.
I will stay up late. I will bake your cookies. I will go to I won't say that. I will go to a shipping location tomorrow. We will get them to you. They will be delicious. You know, I think you should do it. 300,000. Let's go crazy.
I just gave $100.
Yeah, you know who we really want to thank? One of our $100 donors, Courtney Haumeister. I love her work when she does it.
And thank you again, Christine Ognaw, $1,500.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Nice.
Christine!
Christine, you're getting cookies. You're getting
cookies, Christine.
Amazing.
You're going on my cookie list, which I'm just going to start now. I didn't have one before, but I'm starting it, and you're the first one, so it's exciting. I'm going to get a pen and some special paper.
Thank
You're
you,
going on
Jason.
there.
All right, so the cookie donation period has ended. We've chosen the winners, but before we announce the cookie winners, besides the $1,000 winner, let's announce our $1,000 and $500 incentive winners. Levert, who won the Alaska Airlines tickets?
All right, looking at the monitor, it reads Levert. No.
You have a different monitor than the rest of us.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, put your hands together and let's congratulate Susan and Craig Bushell.
Nicely done.
And also, the second pair of Alaska airline tickets, Anywhere Alaska Flies, goes to
Mary K. West. Congratulations, Mary.
First
You're
of all,
getting out of town.
Congratulations, and once again, thank you for your $1,000 donations to make you eligible for that. Okay, the $500 level, the incentive there, remember, was the 2-night weekday stay at the Stoller Guest House and the 6 bottles of Stoller wine. And Levert, that winner is
Andrea Milano. Congratulations on your future trip in our Stoller Guest House in Reserve 1.
Remember that handles, Andrea, that house is for 6 people. So with you and the 3 of us, you can invite 2 others as well to join you during that stay. So, okay, I want to focus, before we announce our cookie winners, let's go back and focus on the bigger picture, and that is our overall total. We are right now just shy of $240,000. We stated up front that we had a large goal tonight, and that was $250,000. So I think we can do it. I hope we can. If we could get 10 more at the $1,000 level, any at the $500 level. So I will make one more request. If you can donate anything at any level, whatever level is meaningful to you and comfortable for you, let's see if we can hit that $250,000 goal for all hands raised before we sign off in a few seconds. Okay, now we do have the cookie winners. Now, oh wait, we've got, there's a new $1,000.
And it's our board chair, Cole Mills. Thanks again, Cole, appreciate you.
Nice, Cole's getting cookies.
Yeah. And by the way, Jason said they are low calorie and low carb cookies. In fact, the more you chew, the more weight you lose when you eat them. They're magic cookies.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
They're magic for so many reasons,
Yes.
Frank. For so many reasons.
Which the winners will enjoy, I'm sure. Okay, and speaking of the cookie winners.
All right, so our cookie winners tonight are Pat Burke.
Yay, Pat, right on.
Pat Burke. All right.
Nice.
Levert.
Jonathan Blasher.
Congratulations to Jonathan,
Nice job,
Jonathan Blasher. And the third one is Suzanne Rickman. You are now getting Jason Rouse cookies. And I think that we have five cookie winners because we had a couple $1,000 donors, right?
Yeah, those ones that came in.
Yeah,
the
ones that came in, exactly.
Cole gets one as well. And I'll tell you, Jason will make an exceptional batch if anyone right now can get us over the goal. So again, we're at $239,500. We're $10,500 away. We're going to sign off shortly so you can continue giving, but please look into your hearts. Give with your heart, not with your checkbook. And
there go
help All Hands
Travis.
Raised.
Thank you, Travis. I see you.
There we go.
Thank you, Travis Merrill, $1,000. Thank you so much.
There was one earlier donation that we didn't ask for, but I loved as I saw them come in. Someone, and it was, I forget the name now, it was a $10 donation.
Oh yeah, we love those.
And it was probably someone who said, Mommy, Daddy, can we go in my piggy bank and help All Hands Raised? So again, there is no donation level too big, there is none too small. Be a part of tonight and continue supporting All Hands Raised.
So Jason, it looks like you're going to be,
Ooh, Janine Fukuda. Thank you, Janine.
Thank you, Janine.
$1,000.
Yep. We can stay here until
we will stay here until we meet our goal. I brought my pajamas, you guys.
Okay, we're 241. We're $8,349 away. If you want to really be a hero, if you would love to have us shut up, you could donate that amount. So whatever incentive works.
Do you have people in your life that you just want to pay to be quiet? We're those people. Yeah, we just need a few $1,000s and we just won't say anything else to you tonight. Exactly.
We appreciate every donation, from the $7,000, Deborah Summer, who started us off at that level. Thank you for that. To all of our $1,000 donors who gave to help get that match from PGE Foundation, to all of the cookie $100 donors, thank each and every one of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. There have been so many winners tonight, but the biggest winner is, of course, All Hands Raised. Your presence tonight allows them... Hey, Jason. I was just talking about All Hands Raised being almost as much of a winner as you are. Your presence tonight allows them to continue to connect partners, schools, and educators to help get them through these difficult times. So thanks so much. Jason, thank you. You can't hear us. Jason, it looks like you're going to be baking about 5 batches of cookies. So thank you so much for joining us. He can't hear us.
Oh, so it doesn't matter.
He doesn't want to talk with
I can hear you now. Hello?
Oh, we were just saying goodnight, Jason. And I was just letting you know you're going to be baking about 5 batches of cookies, it looks like.
Felicity, thank you for your $500 donation. And Brooke for your $50. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jason, so much for your help tonight. And thank you so much for your future baking.
You're
I'm
welcome.
happy to help you if you need some help.
I can't wait. Happy to do it. Happy to do it.
Night, Jason.
I might need it. Good night.
Thank you to all of our donors. Thanks to you, and another huge thanks to Bridgetown Wealth Management, PNC Bank, and our other amazingly generous sponsors. Where are we at, do you feel like, now?
We're in good shape because there will be money coming in after the event. There was a donation that just came in, $250. Thank you, Erica, for that. So please keep them coming in. Lavert, we had a good night.
I had a great night.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed being
fun.
here with the two of you. And as a final thought for tonight, we want to say a huge thank you to our partners, donors, educators, and everyone in the community who supports All Hands Raised in whatever way they can. Thank you and good night.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, and if you should probably stick around and watch our credits, because there's a very fun video compilation of teachers doing amazing things to engage their students. Thank you so much and good night.
I can't get my internet to work. Typed and sent to me through the internet. Well, that's weird. I'm not getting your emails that I am now replying to. See how that works?
So as you guys can see, my ability to draw 3D geometric shapes is pretty unparalleled. Are you guys on mute or?
Then you guys can just put it in the chat.
You didn't know you don't have pants on?
He's lying.
No, I'm not.
If you won't, I'm gonna let you down. I'm gonna run around and desert you.
You gotta recreate your favorite play, so if my favorite play is the one where he jumps into the crowd.
Ooh, dang, he took that too serious. He needs to chill out.
Thank you, first graders, for coming to today's episode of Word Sort Game Show. Our next lucky contestant is You're Muted.
I'm sorry.
Do we have to do all of the assignments? No, just pick and choose.
You want to try and maybe like turn your camera up so that I'm not looking up your nose? No. You don't. This is kind of like my office. You don't need to see the rest of my house. Morning.
Why are you wearing
See, we're twins.
Because it's pajama day.
I will not be here tomorrow.
Why? No.
Sorry. I have a wedding. Not mine.
You are doing such an awesome job in class. You are sharing, you're being open, you're being honest, you're encouraging other people. Your growth, man, like from last period where you didn't share as much, or last module you didn't share as much, and now you are just like leading the charge in class.
We're almost done. I'm tired.
We're almost to our next break.
We even have school tomorrow.
We do have school tomorrow.
Who made these hallways so long? Thank you, teachers. We love you. You're amazing.